what do you do if you have like conflict during a travel? Because you can't enjoy it anymore.
Well, I feel like you have to learn how to compromise. That's basically it. Why are you having the conflict? It's because there's a disagreement in something.
Yeah.
So try to find that middle ground, like what Danny and I found. We found that middle ground. We adjust for each other,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay, what about problems? Have we encountered any
Problems.
problems during our travels?
I mean, the most, honestly, was that time I made you walk so much in Sevilla to the
Yeah.
fish place. But other than that, I really don't think we've
Yeah.
encountered major problems
Yeah, we
in our
haven't.
travels. Not at
Man,
all. We're very blessed that way.
man, we're so boring.
We're so boring. No, but we're very lucky because, like I said, we're very compatible when it comes to traveling because we didn't just compromise. We have the same sense of like wonder, you know, like we like to explore, we like to take photos. Like, for example, I know for a fact that many relationships, girls like to have their photos taken, right? And their boyfriends don't really make the extra effort, or the guys don't really enjoy it, right? I, for a fact, enjoy taking photos with Danny because I like taking photos, you know, it's kind of a side thing for me.
Yeah.
But I particularly like taking photos for Danny because you know I'm very supportive of her for Instagram or for everything. You know, and
Yeah, he
plus you know
literally
it's my
he gets
my
on the
beautiful
floor
girlfriend.
to get the shot.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, it's actually really funny because it comes to a point where Danny tells me to stop.
Yeah, no, because sometimes it's like, babe, I don't want more photos of me. I have enough photos of me. I want couple photos. Because that's the whole trip. You know, it's a couple
No,
trip. I
but
know
not
it's
just
not.
that, not just that. Because like I'm overstaying. Like I'm already taking like 100 photos in one angle. You're like, babe, no more, no more, no more. I'm like, wait, babe, I got the shot, I got the shot. And you'd be like, come on, babe, enough now. I'm like, no, 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 babe, trust me, trust me. And you'd be like, fine, fine, fine. You know, so like she'd be telling me to stop already, and
Yeah.
you know that's not very common, right? But yeah, we've actually taken some really nice photos.
Yeah.
So yeah, so there's you know those are some problems you can find. Other problems could be like maybe your partner doesn't want to walk too much or sightsee so much.
I think like one of the major problems people face is like, for example, like when two people have different priorities when it comes to travel. So one person really likes food, and let's say one person likes museums. And how do how do you mesh, right?
That's a problem. That is a problem. So it's again, find your compromise because
Yeah.
you can be two ends of the spectrum, very extreme. Like I like to explore everything and touch up on every little thing, and I kind of want to just sit in a cafe and do nothing. Those are two extremes.
Yeah.
You kind of have to find the middle ground for that,
Yeah, because you're both paying for the trip. You should both enjoy.
and especially enjoy together. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to be like absent at the same time. You don't want to be pressuring your partner to do
Yeah.
the things you want to do, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about budgeting.
I feel like we just try to go as cheap as possible.
Yeah, that's true. We're
Yeah.
very no frills. So like I'm
Yeah.
always telling him like I don't want to eat in like fancy restaurants, you know. I'm okay with the street food. I'm okay with
Same.
yeah, but you're kind of like, babe, I want a nice meal.
That's true. Okay, the
Which I'm
difference
okay
between
with.
Danny and me is that like she'd go to all these European countries and she'd only have kebab. I'm like,
Oh, not
you do
only
realize yeah, okay, but you do realize Europe has so many flavors. And
Yeah,
you're always
but
going to just the Arab cheap kebab places.
in my
I'm like, come on.
defense, it's expensive to eat out when you're like a family of 7 and you're
That's true.
dining out all the time. So we'd always go to like really cheap places, and we're really no frills, you know. We don't need to stay in 5-star hotels because we'd rather spend on the experiences, on the touristy things, on the sightseeing rather than the food or the lodging, which other people have other preferences, which is totally fine. That's just that's just how we do it. And also because we travel and we go on a cruise, and it's kind of like dinner's already paid for, so we might as well like eat whatever cheap thing we can find. Sometimes we even pack things from the cruise and then we just bring it around with us, so we don't actually eat
gosh.
anything there unless like we try some stuff,
But
but
see,
like
again, like you don't try the flavors of each country, and that's where me and Danny kind of disagreed. I was always like, we have to try each and every place's
yeah.
delicacy, their food.
Yeah, but for me, it's not that I didn't want to try. It's just that I was like, babe, we're on budget, Had. Do not forget that we're on budget.
The thing is, you can still be on budget and try the places properly. A fun example: we were in Belgium, and apparently everyone was saying you have to try the mussels in Belgium. And we were looking for places, and they were all above our budget because they were big.
They were always like around $30, so that's almost 2,000 pesos for two people, which is kind of
Exactly.
like, if you think of it, it's a buffet.
Yeah, expensive side, right? So what we did was it was so funny. We saw
There were two Asian
Yeah.
girls who were
two
also
Asian
looking
girls
for
from,
mussels.
I think Singapore,
Singapore,
right? And they were
yeah.
looking for mussels, and I was kind of just walked up to them. I'm
Dude,
like,
we
hey,
followed them around. I was like, hey,
yeah, we
let's
followed
walk
them
behind
looking.
them. Yeah, for
We
like
followed them
one
because they're
minute.
like they know where they're going, right? And then they found a place, and we found the place. And then I was kind of like, and I just walked up to them.
Yeah, no, first we made small talk. It's so funny. They're like, are you looking
They're
for
like,
mussels? Like, yeah. I was like, oh,
yeah,
it's kind of expensive, huh? And they were like, it is.
yeah.
I feel
So
like
anyways, I
you're both like thinking the same thing.
yeah. So eventually, I brought up the idea. Hey, do you want to like order one pot of mussels and we just
Yeah.
split it between the two of us? We're like, sure.
Yeah,
So it was
that's-
so funny. We just made random friends.
Yeah.
Okay. And we managed to save on the mussels.
Yeah.
See, so basically, you can eat cheap, find ways to eat cheap in Europe and anywhere you go, actually. Just to paint a picture, you don't want to go to Japan and just have kebab there. Okay. You want to have your sushi, right? So for me, as much as possible, when you budget, try to budget on the accommodation and try to like splurge a little bit more on the food because I feel like
Yeah.
the food, the experience of the food is more important. The food
Yeah.
and the sightseeing.
Yeah. So it's all like according to your preference, like where do you get the most joy? For us, it's food. So we're going to spend on the food and the experiences, of course. For some people, maybe they want to stay in 5-star hotels and like who can blame you?
Yes, but then I feel like when you spend all your money on the 5-star hotels, you won't like
Yeah.
really leave your hotel.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Remember, guys, you're only staying in hotels and Airbnbs for the night.
That's true.
The rest of the day you're out, and you kind of want to save money also for like your shopping if you guys are into shopping.
Yeah. So like for us, we're super no frills. We try to be like as cheap as possible. So our flights were cheap, our accommodations were cheap, and we splurged a little on food and on the experiences and stuff. We don't really shop. No, I did, but it was like everything was like super sale.
Yeah.
Everything was like 80 off.
And I only shop for like pasalubongs and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, I feel like when
Okay.
you travel, just budget your priorities properly.
Yeah. But how do we budget for travel? So we actually have like this date fund that we
yeah.
contributed 50 euros each month, like during our LDR. So that was like 3 months of LDR, so that's 150 euros each. Basta, I think in total we had kind of like a 20,000 peso budget for the entire trip. So that was including the flights, the transpo, the accoms. We went a bit over budget, which is kind of understandable because it was like a week in Amsterdam and in Brussels, and that was everything, including food, including lodging. So that was pretty okay.
Yeah, it was pretty okay. For the two of us, I mean, that was
Yeah.
pretty good. And we kind of like ate good. We ate
Yeah.
very good.
It was
right?
very good
Our
memories.
accommodations were decent. They weren't like 5-star
Yeah,
accommodations,
but
but
it's not
they
like
were
we
comfortable.
stayed. Yeah, it's not like we stayed there
And
long.
actually, they had a nice view.
If you guys want to check out the full episode, click the link on the screen or head on over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever podcasts are available. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.